My beloved brother, I admire your zeal, of course, but would you not agree this is hardly the time to be standing guard over a hole that no one will ever emerge from? Or perhaps you're concerned that someone will decide to go for a nighttime stroll and will accidentally fall into it. Such foresight is laudable, but do you really need so many soldiers for such a task? Can't your warriors be put to better use, for instance, fighting demons or clearing rubble, while the people trapped behind it still might be alive? The face of this gold-curled Aasimar is beautiful even by the standards of his kind, in whose veins run the blood of angels. His melodious voice is beautiful, even his melodious voice sounds cheerful, but bitter reproach simmers in his gaze. Don't you dare call me brother heretic! The signs of recent hard fighting are obvious in this stern old man. His armor is dented and covered in blood, and his unnatural pallor suggests something more dangerous than wounds inflicted by claws and fangs. Nevertheless, his gaze is stony, and his voice, accustomed to barking orders, is harsh and clipped. How dare you accuse me of doing nothing to protect this city, especially now when followers of your temple were caught committing treason? To my mind, you are no different than the demon worshippers, those miscreants, those beasts that are digging under the city's walls. Everyone knows, my dearest prelate, that your zealous pursuit of order in the city, you had long since forgotten how to tell friend from foe, and good from evil. That's what happened with my adepts, whose act of treason was a genuine attempt to save the city. And yet again I am forced to repeat myself. While we are wasting time on pointless quarrels, people are dying under the rubble in our city. People whom we could have saved if you'd only set your soldiers to task, and not kept them here, surrounding a useless and utterly harmless hole in the ground. Harmless? Well, if it's on your say-so, then I must mean that something down there. I must mean that there's something down there. Your associates, no doubt. And they're just waiting for us to abandon our post before they slink out and try to... The old man notices your approach. And you! I remember you. You appeared in my city the day the demons attacked and Torendalev died. What are you doing here? Answer at once, or I'll have you strung up by your ankles before you know it. Don't think that the demons have wounded me. I still have enough strength to take on 100 of your sort. And what is that hideous creature? Holrun peers at Lon with suspicion. Lon, at your service. The mongrel ducks his head in a bow. My forebears fought in the First Crusade. I lived in Kenabris my whole life. You haven't even seen me before. Ah, it must be because you don't ever venture into our underground district. We have been meaning to complain to the city authorities that our paving stones have been in need of repair for a long time. The First Crusade? So you're a mongrel? You obviously know human speech. Surprisingly well, in fact. All right, let's be off with you. The prelate looks at you. If he causes any trouble, I shall hold you... Ooh, my throat. I shall hold you responsible. Come to think of it, you still haven't told me who you are. I'm a crusader. A crusader, you say? I'll be looking into that. You obviously don't know to whom you are speaking. I am the one who decides who's a crusader and who's a traitor in this city. Holrun Shapuk, prelate to Kenabras, by the grace of Her Majesty Queen Galfrey, and the city's defender against threats from within and without. And, as we can see, you've done a sterling job protecting this city. The golden curled Aasimar flashes a flinty smile. I'm Ranian of Edme, prior to the Temple of Desna, which, alas, currently lies in ruins. Wise Holrun here believes it is vital to guard this hole in the ground, from which he is certain demons will emerge at any moment. I have been trying to convince him that the city has far more urgent matters to deal with. For instance, rescuing those currently dying under the rubble. You know what? There are many, in fact... Jesus. There may, in fact, be one matter that is more important than guarding this hole. I've put it off. Goodness. Brain's hurting. I've put it off, and look where it led us. I should have had you hung from the gates back when you dared to defend your gang of delinquent demon collaborators. If the Sarkonians had hanged Arelu Voresh while they still had the chance, there never would have even been a war. I won't repeat their mistake. I won't hesitate any longer. Soldiers, seize this scum! Prelate, see reason. These are frightening times, but threatening to hang someone without trial, that's unworthy of a servant of Iomede. The old man fixes his eyes on Sela. Lest you forget, girl, we may serve the same goddess, but you are not an inquisitor. Don't question the way I choose to serve Iomade, and I won't question yours. What precisely are you accusing him of? Treason. Not long before the city was attacked, several followers from his temple tried to secretly access the Ward Stone and perform an unknown ritual over it. Horun is trembling with fury. The Ward Stone of Canabras, the gift from Iomade, the bringer of light, wrought by the hands of her herald, the first in the chain. And followers of that crazy runt of a goddess try to meddle with it in using their magic after hearing a voice in their dreams. My soldiers almost had them caught when Ramian got in their way, allowing the traitors to go to ground. I made a mistake. I didn't have him locked in his cell and interrogated within an inch of his life, and now the city lies in ruins. It's time to rectify that mistake. I've told you before, and I'll tell you again. My people foresaw the attack on the city. They knew the Wardstone already carried the seed of corruption within itself, and they were simply trying to heal it. I've heard similar claims before. Now where was it? Ah yes, from Staunton Vane, the traitor who brought down Dresden. The lessons of the past have taught us a great deal. That is why I never believed you or your mob's lies, even for a second, and I was right. Say nothing. Ramian looks at the prelate. You're a fool, Horun. You're a zealot and a murderer, but you're a fool first and foremost. I told you that the Wardstone was weakened. You wouldn't listen. I warned you that the city was going to be attacked. You shooed me away. The truth is that my young adepts were trying to save the Wardstone and you stopped them. Of course, those truly responsible for this tragedy are the demons, but you have done nothing to prevent it. And now you would rather kill an innocent person and perish yourself than admit you were wrong. As always. With a wave of his hand, the Aasimar vanishes. He just ran away. He didn't vanish. Wave of his hand. I'm gone. Beast! Heretic! Traitor! He slipped away again. The prelate stamps his foot in outrage, then turns his eyes on you. What about you? Whose side are you on? If you want me to believe that you're no cultist, go and recapture the traitor for me. Or perhaps you want to defend him. In that case, my soldiers don't need to be told twice. I see you suffer greatly in battle. I fucking hate this guy. Where can I find Ramian? How should I know? The weasel can't have gone far. He didn't turn invisible. He turned invisible. He's probably hunkered down in some hole like the traitorous rat he is. And he'll be sitting trembling and waiting till he's dragged out of here. With the prelate after you, that seems the only sensible thing to do. It's what I would do. I'm sure lots of things sound sensible to you. And it works. As you can see, I'm still alive. Ramian really warned you about the attack? Those craved Desnians were always bursting into my study with their incoherent prophecies that came to them in their dreams. I won't lie, sometimes what they said came to pass, but can we rely on the woolly dreams of heretics over the cold, hard facts of intelligence reports? Plenty of demons could have easily fooled them and whispered a treasonous plan in their dreams, and those lunatics would have been only too happy to listen. This time, Miser Curl for Brains came to me and declared that demons were about to attack the city, and that the Wardstone's power was diminished by some kind of contamination or taint. Iomade, forgive me for even repeating those words. After uttering such blasphemy, he should have been locked up along with his followers and interrogated, but instead I simply increased the surveillance around them. And what next? My people caught them red-handed trying to attack the Wardstone with unknown magic, and not 3 days later the demons attacked the city. There's an obvious connection between these events. Whether deliberately or under demonic influence, the Desnians played right into the hands of Deskari's hordes, and they almost left the city completely defenseless. Ramian covered for his people with the whole time and helped them escape my gods. After that, what else can you be but a traitor and a heretic? I really hate this guy. Wow. I see you suffer greatly in battle. Nonsense. I had to deal with a brood of Nabasus. It was nothing. I've taken on worse enemies with the goddess's help. Nemesis, also known as death demons, have the ability to drain their victim's life force. Judging by Holrun's pallor, he has lost a significant amount of energy. The Inquisitor can bluster as much as he wants, but right now he's far from his peak abilities. Why are you so obsessed with finding enemies wherever you look? Why? Why? You must not be from these parts, so you wouldn't have asked such a question. I look for enemies everywhere because there are enemies everywhere. Who are we at war with? Demons. Demons and cultists. They are masters of deception. They worm their way into your favor and masquerade in all manner of false guises. You think Dresden was taken by force? No! By trickery! Were it not for me, Canabras would have gone the same way long ago, captured out from under our noses. Now listen to what I'm about to tell you. This was a long time ago. I was very young then, and I had just joined the Crusade. Back then, Canabras didn't have a garrison, so much as a public thoroughfare. Anyone who wanted could just stroll into the city. One day at dawn, a group of refugees came up to the city gates, bold as brass. The gods let them in, and why not? For no one was ever turned away. 'Twas no matter. Everyone was welcome in our city. If you came from Mendev or if you hauled yourself here from across the seas, the Crusade accepted all and sundry. But on this occasion, we paid dearly for our laxity. Just as soon as those innocent lambs entered the city, they transformed into demons and rushed towards the wardstone, slaughtering everyone who tried to stop them. 62 people died in less than a minute. The demons used their mutilated corpses to desecrate the obelisk. Not one of them dared to go near it. The light of the goddess burned them all, so they threw the blood from afar, spattering the wardstone from every direction. And the lead demon, an eyeless beast, Minago is her name, jeered and gloated, saying we mortals had been setting ducks. And the creature was right, too. We let our guard down, and we got what we deserved. That bloodbath came to be known as the Red Morning Massacre, and it was burned into the townfolk's memories. Since then, Canabras has adopted different practices. Heretics, cultists, spies, all the rabble who coveted Aurelu's glory. We drove them all from the city. We haven't had any trouble here since. Many have come here, even the Baelor Koramzadeth. And they have all been sent straight back to where they came from, or else they were killed for the trouble. You see, Descari himself had to crawl out from the abyss and come here. The goddess cursed him in order to break through our defenses. And what did he do? He left again, and we're still fighting. Now that is what vigilance and discipline can do. There's nothing dangerous in this hole, my dude. You have no reason to guard it. I won't hear another word. Demons are hiding underground. The proof is all around you. The demon spawn that tried to crawl out can't harm anyone now. Wait, you're just trying to lure me away from here, aren't you? With narrowed eyes, Holrun scans you from head to toe. Perhaps you're a cultist too. Want to help your friends underground, do you? Well, you won't fool me. You won't take a single step away from here. And if you keep talking nonsense, I'll be strung up for treason. I honestly want to kill this dude. Like, I'm gonna go talk to the other guy. He's probably at the temple, but I'm probably gonna come back and kill this dude. Go on then, if you have to. It would be good if you could return with the head of that scum. Ember peers intently at Holrun. I remember you. When Father and I arrived in the city, you met us. What is this gibberish? As if I had nothing better to do than arrange meetings with vagrants. But it's true. You and the other knights tied us to stakes and started lighting the bonfire. Father died, and then one of your knights changed his mind and pulled me from the flames. But then he died too. Don't you remember? If you were burned, then it was for good reason. It's got some real Frollo vibes. You say some traitor helped you escape from the fire? That is a crime in itself, which means that you will have been evading justice all these years. If it weren't for the invasion, I would review your case and see that your sentence was finally fulfilled. You're lucky that we have more important matters to deal with right now. He didn't look the way he does now, all wrinkled and gray. He was younger with a big mustache. Ember smiles broadly and draws a large, bushy mustache in the air with her finger. He probably forgot all about me. It was a long time ago. But I do want to say one thing. I'm not cross with him. This knight is a true hero. He just really, really wanted to protect this city. Only he got mixed up about who was good and who was evil. Holrun, you sent an innocent child to be burned at the stake? Don't you want to ask for her forgiveness? Pah! Hardly. Anyone can look innocent. How did this girl manage to survive the fire? And what about that crow that's always flying around her? I advise you take a closer look at this innocent little lamb of yours. If you ask me, she looks highly suspicious indeed. You forgive him after what he did to you? He thought he was doing what was right. How do you know? Maybe you've done something thinking it was a good thing, but you were really doing a bad thing that hurt someone. But what if I've done the same thing? You can't get angry at people for making mistakes when you might be no better than them. I'm definitely coming back to kill this motherfucker, but I want to talk to the priest first. Let's go, Ember. Okay, let's go. Bye-bye, kind knight. The girl waves to Holrun with a carefree smile. Holrun grimaces and turns away. Yeah, I'm gonna go head back to the Temple of Desna, see if that boy is here. Boy. Probably safe after that long dialogue. Oh.
It's time to act.
Oh, hi. What's up, invisible dude? The golden-curled Aasimar greets you with a graceful bow. So you found me. I have nowhere else to run. I'm at your mercy. Kill me if you wish. But I ask you, hear me out first. Did you really know about the demon attack before it happened? I did. We have a secret ally in the enemy's ranks. No one knows who the brave soul is, but she has been feeding us information about the demon's plans. These dispatches have come to us by the most reliable channel bestowed upon us by the great dreamer herself. They have come to us in dreams. Prelate Holrun brushes them off as meaningless reveries. And, well, I admit that it isn't always easy to distinguish our allies' messages from ordinary dreams. But even ordinary dreams or gifts from Desna are always worthy of attention. The prelate, and all the crusade leaders for that matter, should have put less store in reason and more in intuition, inspiration, and spontaneity. What's more, not long before the attack on the city, a blind elf who calls himself the Storyteller arrived in Canabras. We need to find that dude. This wanderer wasn't merely a collector of legends, but a scholar of the unknown. According to him, the wardstone in our city, the first and most important in the chain of wardstones, weakened since long ago, was teetering on the brink of corruption. It seemed that the Red Morning Massacre and other demon attacks, even the ones we fended off, did not leave us unscathed. Unfortunately, the prelate did not wish to listen to the storyteller either. We were lucky he wasn't burned at the stake as a heretic. We had such a vital information on our hands, information that could have saved the city, but no one cared to listen all the way to the catastrophic end. Not all dreams have benign origins. What if those were sent by the demons? In a different time and place, someone perhaps could have become the victim of false dreams sent by monsters. But here, in the war with the Abyss, the goddess is keeping a close eye on her most faithful followers. I have no doubt that if a demon tried to intrude upon the dreams of any one of us, Desna's punishment would have been swift. Tell me about the strange rituals that have been going on to perform the wardstone. Remian looks slightly abashed. When my attempts to open Holrun's eyes ended in failure, a few of my adepts resolved to take matters into their own hands. They did not consult me before doing so, but I have never demanded iron discipline from my priests. Army commanders may have subordinates, but I have pupils and fellow worshippers. I can only inspire them, I cannot command them, and it seems they were inspired all on their own. In other words, you got to preach whatever you want, and don't have to take any responsibility for your flock. You really got it made. For pity's sake, how can I be held responsible for the actions of others? These are not children we are discussing here. They are grown adults endowed with their own free will, praise the goddess. Of course, we all help one another, but in the final reckoning, each of us decides how we will act, and each must answer for those choices. They had no ill intent. They only wished to access the wardstone in secret to try to cleanse it. But to Holrun, this became perform a suspect ritual after hearing even more suspect voices in their dreams. The children wanted to save the city, but the Inquisitors detained them and almost killed them. I had to intervene. I used my authority and my power as a cleric to give them a chance to flee. If they hadn't got away, they were destined for a cell in the prelate's dungeons and quite likely death. Why are you and Holrun feuding? Oh, I'm not feuding with him. I sincerely wish only the best for the man. In an ideal world, he'd be far away from the front lines enjoying a peaceful retirement. But even if that isn't possible, I have always tried to help him fulfill the mission he has taken upon himself, and to which he has proved fatally ill-suited, protecting Canabras against demons. Unfortunately, he is convinced that the followers of Desna are heretics and saboteurs. He refuses to listen to me, and it was only the knightly orders that deterred him from including us in his witch hunt. Now there is clearly no one left to stand in his way. He is freely free to get rid of us once and for all. Is there a chance you can resolve your conflict? I don't know. Holrun's faith is truly formidable. Not only his faith in Ioname, but also his own infallibility. In other words, he's as hard-headed as a rock troll. But even so, Desna teaches us to never to lose hope. Talk to him. Try to explain that we are fighting for the same side. If he attacks you, disarm him. Bind his hands. But I beg you, if at all possible, please do not kill him. Why haven't you left this place for somewhere safer? Because people might need help, and they will come to the temple in search for a priest. I will not hide away in a hole, saving my own neck, while Canabras is full of people suffering in the wake of the demon's attack. I have to go. Wait. 3 of my adepts are hiding somewhere in the ruins of the city. One of the Inquisitors wrongly accused of treason. I beg you, find them and protect them against the demons and vigilantes like Holrun. They will not rest until they find them. If there are anything else you can do, save Canabras. Please do it. Hi. Stranger, wait. You spared Ramian despite what the Mad Inquisitor told you. The young voice comes from somewhere. Oh, hang on. I forgot to remove the spell. I hope Holrun's dogs aren't lurking nearby. The pale youth materializes before you. His face looks haggard from lack of sleep, but he is clearly pleased to be speaking to someone. So you're one of Desnan's adepts that tried to break into the Wardstone. Yes, I am Ilks, cleric of Desna, and one of the people who answered the call of the voice in dreams. Some unknown person made contact with us through our dreams, telling us about the demons' plans. We learned that the demons were planning to attack Canabras and do something terrible to our Wardstone, which already carries the taint of corruption. Prelate Holrun refused to heed our warnings. We had to make a choice. We could either throw up our hands and pull back, or we could take action, even though it could cost our lives. But what heartless person could stand in the face of such a deadly threat? What were you planning to do with the Wardstone? The young man hesitates. Our plan was to get to it and then follow our instincts. There were 3 of us, a cleric, a mage, and a bard. Between us, we know a lot. We're capable of a great deal. If we had enough time, I'm sure we could have figured out what was wrong with the Wardstone and how to heal it. But they didn't give us time. Yes, the local commanders got roped into dealing with this. Some idiot kids trying to break into the Wardstone. Apparently some of ours. But who even knows these days? Sela sighs. I know there's no evil in you. I can sense things like that. But what you did was so stupid and impulsive. Someone could have gotten hurt. I know from experience. So, you decided that you needed to do something right away, and you did something right away. Great work. Long gives a sarcastic round of applause. Like the city authorities would have done a better job? They weren't going to do a thing, even though it sounds like they knew about the danger. All they knew was that some crazies had some weird dreams. But anyway, it's a little late to be trying to pin blame on people. How'd you even come up with such a plan? How can we not come up with that plan? You sense the young man's temper rising. Listen, Desna is the goddess of luck, but luck, as many lay people would understand it, and luck as we, the followers of music of spheres, see it, are far from the same thing. Other people believe that luck is something good that falls into your lap just because, like a generous but unearned reward. We see luck as a fundamental law of creation, according to which even the darkest hour of the most hopeless situation, a chance of rescue and chance for the better can arise. But you've got to seize this chance when it presents itself, or better yet, create your own. Followers of Desna are not people who like idleness in inaction. That's why when Canabras was in trouble, we did as our goddess had taught us. We took the matter in our own hands and tried in a moment of desperation to pluck our chance from the hands of fate itself. You're trying to help. Can they punish you if you're trying to help? Is that allowed? Sometimes it's even necessary. How could a zealot like Holrun become the respected defender of Canabras? His faith is strong, incredibly strong. People of the city have seen him fighting on the front lines time after time. I myself remember feeling dumbstruck the first time I saw that gruff old man slaying demons in a fit of righteous fury. The people living on the edge of the abyss need protecting more than anyone else. That's why they're prepared to forgive their protector almost anything, even prejudice, paranoia, and the death of innocence. Also, Harun hasn't been as brutal as he used to be for a long time. He has his loyal right-hand man, Litor, known as Hawkblade. He's a witch hunter too, but a good deal more rational, even-tempered. Harun trusts him completely, and Litor always conducts a thorough investigation before dragging a victim to the fire. It's our bad luck that Litor left Canabras in pursuit of some particularly vicious hags 2 weeks before the attack. If he were here, he wouldn't have left Harun attack Ramian. On the other hand, if he were here, we wouldn't have escaped after trying to get to the Wardstone. We'd all be in a cell right now. Whose voice have you been hearing in your dreams? Nobody knows what it is, but everyone who has heard her, I should say, is convinced that she is a good and pure soul chosen by Desna. We had a choice. We could trust her, accept that we have an ally somewhere who isn't afraid of all the armies of the Abyss, or we could drown in suspicions and get one step closer to becoming just like Holrun. We decided to trust the voice, and seeing Canabras devastated, which is what our unknown ally tried to prevent until the very end, I can see now who had the truth on their side. Excuse me. Where are your fellow worshippers, and how many of them are there? Fortunately or unfortunately, I don't know where they are. We split up to confuse the Inquisitors who were chasing us. Do you need help? Desna teaches us to trust and lash this chances. Listen, my friends are called Aranka and Thrall. Thrall the Wallflower. Aranka is an amazing singer and a truly beautiful girl. She has plenty of friends and fans. She probably blended into a crowd somewhere. Wallflower is a mage, but I don't think he'll risk using magic. It will only bring the Inquisitors down on him. He'll be hard to find. You better find Aranka first. She might know where Wallflower is. Please, find them and protect them against the demons and the Inquisitors. We'll await news of the goddess's temple. I hope our mysterious helper will send new messages that will reveal what is to come with the demons. Have to go. Alright, let's go talk to this absolutely insane man. Oop. Probably gonna have to download my VOD from Twitch to... because I don't think it saved my recording. Oh, the Steam ability lasts for a long time. Last I had it because I could see him. Definitely gonna save before this because I don't know. I guess killing him probably isn't the best bet because he could at least prove useful in killing demons. And if that guy comes back to keep a leash on him, it might not be bad. Alright, by F5. Well, what do you want? I'm busy. The demons in this hole can strike at any moment. I talked to Ramian. He is not your enemy. He only wants what's good for Canabras. So you're defending the traitor? I have your measure now, demon collaborator. To arms, death to traitors. Kill the demon worshipper. Well. Let's try that again. See if I can get a... Alright, well, I'm not really sure what's happening. My stream keeps hiccuping, which is weird. But it's fixed quicker this time. And it looks like I'm still recording, which is good. So I tried to talk to Holrun, and I chose the first option. And, well... didn't really work out. Well, I don't really have a choice, it looks like.
Can we retreat already?
I'm gonna do turn-based. Well, I guess I can't turn on for the battle.
Don't hold back!
You've crossed the wrong line.
Can I kill him without killing him, please? Do a large person. Cast grease.
A mere flesh wound.
Jeezy, crazy.
This'll leave a bruise.
Well, I literally had no choice but to kill him. That was annoying. Oh well, I guess. I mean, it's cool. It's not as good as my fire one. You know, I'm gonna see if there's a peaceful way to resolve that with Hull Run. Oh well, I guess I just killed him. I wanted to resolve that peacefully, but doesn't seem like there's any real way to do so.